I try to say so all the time. Like we didn't have a no-gi class in my gym before I got to EBI. Then we added no-gi classes. We were purely a gi gym, so we didn't do heel hooks at all. Wow. So when I went on to EBI, so that's why obviously I'm from a traditional background where like it's all RNCs, arm bars, triangles, So we had to change our complete style to just even stay in the game when we kind of got the call up. And I remember actually my coach put me in a heel hook and he was like, right, let's try and problem solve. Let's try and get out of it. And after like an hour, I almost messaged Eddie Bravo back saying, hey, bro, I don't know a heel hook. I'm not coming. I was literally sitting there going, I can't even get out your heel hook. If Eddie Cummins gets my leg, he's going to destroy the thing, So, yeah, we were big on like the traditional sub. So like my favorite position probably weirdly is close guard, and an armbar from close guard, which is one of the most basic things in the world. But I do like either a hip bump setup or like a fake flower sweep into like a face down armbar. I'm big on rolling through on the armbar because it gives you better sweep opportunities and better back exposure if you fail. I often think like if you stay square in no-gi with them when someone rips out, they'll get good passing opportunities.
Absolutely, yeah. I love that you mentioned the closed guard too, because that's the place where I find a lot of success personally with my arm bars. Arm bars are not something that are my specialty necessarily. I'm more of a choker, but I love arm bars are obviously really important to build dilemmas and to set other things up as well. And then of course you can, whether they're your specialty or not, it's an effective technique that anybody can land.
That's definitely something I think that they are used for more so now than ever is creating the dilemma between upper body and lower body.
Yeah.
And obviously transitioning from the arm to the like same side leg. You can just if you fail your attack on the upper right, you can go to the lower right off the back of it. Because a lot of guys are gonna strip via going in an upwards direction, which would expose the same side leg.
Absolutely. Speaking of dilemmas, that's something else I wanted to pick your brain on. What do you think are some really for people out there that are at the beginner to intermediate level in jiu-jitsu that are trying to improve creating dilemmas within their game? What do you think are some really easy go-to positions and go-to dilemmas that you can encourage people to explore if they don't know where to start?
So if this was gi, I would personally say like collar chokes are by far, if I put a gi on or when I put a gi on, collar chokes are by far my favorite. Like anything where you can get the lapel and wrap it, like because there's so many different finishing mechanics. Like so you can always, no matter which way they come into the defend with the hands, you can always cut or create a different angle because it's a bit of material. The material can like change and edit how you can pull and squeeze it. So it's a little bit different, it does open a lot of doors to you. So I think like for me in the gi, I think lapel chokes and collar chokes are just, they're the best, like by far. I think they are so good. And then in submission grappling, I personally, if I was a beginner now, I would do a lot of wrestling and a lot of leg locks. This is true. I think you can almost get to a high level submission grappler with high level wrestling and good leg lock defense. Like the pinning positions, like side control mount, you would be good at if you were a good wrestler anyway. Like because you'd have great body, like postural chain and everything else would be correct. So you'd have I know it's not quite like creating the dilemma, but I think the mix between wrestling up from bottom and attacking the legs is enough. It's amply enough, to be honest, to have a good guard. And equally when you're passing, then like a wrestling bullish style passing game with great navigation of the legs. Because if you're a guard passer and you can't do leg locks, then you're kind of being very, very hopeful that they don't tie you up in leg locks, which this day and age is very unlikely unless you're going to go for like the loose around the head passing. You're going to get tied up at some point. So I do think navigating leg locks and wrestling and having a combination of them is probably one of the most comprehensive submission grappling kind of use you could have. If you had time, I'd put it into them personally.